Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 61st episode of PandTha Talks. The
No.
episode, for some reason, a podcast where two idiots get together and basically just ramble about games.
And do dumb stuff like not figure out how streaming and recording works because we're stupid.
Yeah, you'd have thought after a year we'd have figured it out. But
I saw like we haven't done other stuff before this year of recording podcasts either.
yeah, exactly my thought. But yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, we attempted a stream of Climby the other day, and it didn't go too well. We have
No,
since
no, I did not.
found the issue. We've also figured out what it was doing because it was also affecting our recordings, and
Yep.
everything seems to be fine now. It was just basically a track issue because for some reason, the way OBS works is you can choose multiple tracks for recording, but only a singular track for streaming. Bizarre,
So,
but it
long
works.
story short, we think we've solved the issue, but we probably haven't. We'll run into the exact same issue next time, not know how to solve it, and be right back to square one.
Don't say that. Don't put me down like this. I need some positivity in my life, man.
Ugh, who needs that?
I know, right?
Who
Anyways,
even wants that, man?
true. But in good news, considering we are recording on Easter, happy Easter to everyone.
Indeed. I hope
Um,
you all ate all chocolate and maybe that went into a partial coma from food, like Rory almost has.
oh man, nothing like a bloody nice dinner on Easter.
Mm.
Cannot fault it.
Oh yeah,
But
I'm literally 5 minutes after scoffing half of a ham. I
nothing wrong
could
with
very easily eat the other half, but I don't
it.
think I'm allowed.
It happens.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I'm fairly certain I could,
Sure,
but
you could.
I'll not be that mean.
But we have an interesting episode this week. You see, 2 weeks ago, when our social media manager slash community manager handled the podcast for that week, they sent me across a document that me and Will need to go over this episode. And so we shall. After
Hmm.
that, we will be moving on to Arrowhead Game Studios, which, if people don't know who they are, they're the people who made Helldivers 2, in which they received a gift from Remedy Games, the people who made Alan Wake. After
I'm
that,
pretty sure I have
oh,
both of those games in my Epic Games library. That I received for free, by the way,
of
and
course,
have not touched them.
I mean, it's Epic
I
Games. We
wanted
launch
to,
it.
I wanted to
It's
because
just
they
the
did seem
time.
slightly interesting, but there wasn't
No,
enough of a want.
I get that. After that,
There's
we'll be. Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, no, go ahead, go
After that,
ahead.
we'll be moving on to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and how there are quite a few new games that have come over to it.
Mm, we like
After,
hearing that.
oh, always. Uh, After that one, we will be discussing a conversation needed over e-gaming, campaigners say, regarding gambling and loot boxes in video games and how it's becoming addicting to those who use it.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally an entire market on CS2
Yep,
for just, which is essentially just gambling.
exactly. And finally, we'll be discussing a new £220 million gaming island where you parachute into check-in to uh open up and come in holiday destination. Basically, it's a gaming holiday destination.
Now,
An
are we
island.
talking there's staff there that like the entire island is like an open world game and all the staff there are like full in the character and you go around like everyone has special devices strapped around them everywhere for different target locations and stuff.
From what I can see here, there are four things in a picture that reads Digital Tower, which is technological workspaces, TG Arena, infrastructure for automation, international esports tournaments, GG Boot Camps, professional training grounds for esports players, and GG Resorts, modern high performance hotel. But we'll get into more information about that in a little while.
Mm.
But for now, let's get into the first topic, shall we? Because apparently it's about time I got told off.
Yes, I love this. This is what I call good news.
So, our community manager 2 weeks ago wrote up a contract.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to read you the reason for this contract because apparently, after that week's episode, she clicked on, oh, the week before they were talking about that game Rory can't talk about. And Will said, we need a contract or something for this.
No, some things I shouldn't say, man.
So this is what this says, with a bit of background information and then a plan of action. I said we would do this in a video. She's quite happy about this information. So here we go. Background. On the 4th of March 2024, episode 57 at exactly 10 minutes and 26
Oh my
seconds.
god, hold on, there's timestamps?
She is insane when it comes to timestamping. Will states, come the end of this year, we're gonna have to make have to make a whole contract for you not to be allowed to mention things. This has come around because Rory, as of last year, developed a deep upset with the video game title of game there.
Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah, you're allowed to say it.
Perfect. Called Forsaken, that Rory is not allowed to speak of.
Spoken.
Spoken, my bad.
There you go. I had to find a way to correct it without fucking myself over.
I tried.
It's all good. And as of the end of last year, was no longer allowed to say the name of the game. Due to the unfortunate climate of the gaming industry...
She should have wrote, commencing midnight at the start, with ending 2023 and the beginning of 2024. He is no longer allowed to.
Yeah. Due to the unfortunate climate of the gaming industry, Rory has developed yet another deep upset for another game, in which he continuously refers to as he did blank name of game.
See, I did mention that I feel like it's cheating.
Yeah, this is why she's
and
done
you claimed it wasn't.
Well, that was my opinion, but apparently she disagrees. And she has
For once, someone is on my side against you. Hallelujah.
As a contract has now been mentioned, I feel it only right for both Rory and Will to have a discussion about things that need addressing, and if both parties feel that a subject matter should be completely banned from mention, then it will be added to the table below. This has been done in a matter in which both you agree, and if not, I would hope that you both come to a compromise. If you have any concerns, contact community manager. Do's and don'ts, and then signature.
I think we should get this actually drafted up for the next time we see each other in real life, and both sign it.
That sounds like a hell of a plan. So we'll get it all written. We'll do the do's and don'ts now, and then we can sign it off in person when we next see each other.
God.
So, don't.
Well, I think the first one's obvious.
Yep. Okay.
I feel like another one for our community manager that might make them feel a little better and possibly a little less angry towards us is tangents, which we mentioned, was it last week or the week before? How we like to spiral off into multiple different topics time and time again. Now, I don't know how possible it's going to be.
Tangents. Yeah, we'll try and limit it as much as we can. I think that sounds fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So do's.
Be
insane.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got that one tracked.
Given. Yep.
Be us? Question mark.
I don't. That isn't just be insane. The same.
Yeah. Play games.
Absolutely. Record weekly as well. Let's try not to miss any, unless
Yep.
for legitimate excuses only.
Yeah, that's
Missing a
fair.
leg is not a legitimate excuse.
No, of course it's not. Get yourself out of that hospital or get a laptop to your position ASAP. Do occasional live streams.
Absolutely.
I think that
In
covers the
brackets,
dues.
VR.
Yeah. VR/co-op.
Oh, yes.
Because obviously, if there's no good VR games, but there's some good co-op game, of course we're going to go for that. Okay. Now, don'ts. So don't mention the game that should not be mentioned. Go on too many tangents. What else?
I'm sure there's probably a couple things that we could like go through the videos and see.
I'm trying to leave my angry ranting on board, so I don't want to put that on there.
No, I quite enjoy the angry ranting. It gives me a good laugh.
Well, that's good to hear. At least my pain and suffering gives someone a laugh.
Oh, without a doubt, any time.
Right. So what we're going to do then, I think, could be a good idea. We'll leave the last two. If there is
I have a feeling, Rory, that by the end of this year, you might be able to fill up one of those categories.
yeah, the other thing I'm
with
thinking,
another name in particular.
yeah, Skull and Bones. The other thing I'm thinking, if our community manager comes back to me after this episode and goes, "Yeah, I want you to add this to the don'ts category or this to the do's category," then we'll add them. So,
I
but
mean,
for now,
realistically, they should be the one that gets final say.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, they have to deal with our bullshit firsthand.
I know they get access to the recording like a day before everyone else. So it goes to them. They then go and do what they do. I receive like a copy of what they're doing for TikToks and any information they want me to look over about like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Check over it at 10. Message them back, thanking them for the help, and then pretty much it goes out at 3 o'clock the next day. So, they have to deal with everything pretty straight on. And, like, if there's any comments or anything, they typically try to answer it the best they can. But honestly, it's. They're the one that I feel sympathetic to. But yeah, for now, this is what we have. If there's anything else, community manager, drop me a
Now,
message.
I'm curious though, Rory. Are there punishments? Because I would like to see you get chased down if I get you to mention Forspoken.
Ooh. Ooh. You know what? Community manager's discretion in
Dependent on
choice.
severity.
Yeah. That sounds like a good plan. And you know what? I'll get them to write a list for me. And I'll add them there for next week. That way we can look over this. But yeah,
This feels like a terrible idea, Rory. I just want you
it's
to know.
an abysmal plan. I'm going to regret it by the end of the night.
However, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy when I next see you, just to see that you have bruises everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
From the 17 violations you did in one episode 3 months ago.
yeah. Yeah, sorry, I've only just got my arm back in working condition, broke it in 16 places. Don't worry about it. So, moving on anyways. Arrowhead Game Studios. As I said, if you don't know who they are the creators of Helldivers 2. They received they put this onto Twitter on, I believe it's the 29th of March. Yeah, it is. And it said, "We received a lovely gift from our games at Remedy Games. Our friends at Remedy Games, sorry. We can finally save our game, and what else? A manuscript page from best-selling author Alan Wake. Sincerely thanks from all of us at Arrowhead." And they sent them across a signed thermist. And
In what?
inside, what?
Oh,
A
sorry,
signed,
thermos.
yeah, signed box, and then the thermos inside. But then inside, they have this little note. I had heard of them before. Helldivers. Defenders of freedom across the galaxy, harbingers of divine justice, like a blade of pure light shining bright in a world of darkness. Or so they told themselves. Their righteous crusade had spread like wildfire, gained thousands, millions of followers. But to the followers, it was more simple than that. Players in a game looking to have fun. It was awe inspiring, impressive, what the Helldivers had achieved. Even in the dark places, such a feat would require a paralyzing amount of planning and masterful skill. Congratulations were in order. May managed democracy spread across the galaxy. Alan Wake. And I just thought that was an amazing little thing for them to send them. But once again, as many people have been saying regarding this game, it's one of the only times we've ever seen people actually fight to end the console wars and actually work together to try and get this game onto more platforms and things such as that. So
I
seeing
have
that even
argued pretty much since we've started this podcast that we just want all games available everywhere,
yeah,
or at least
that has
everywhere
been our
that
point.
they're able to be. Like obviously, some games just they're not going to make sense beyond certain devices.
Yeah, like a lot of people will argue against us in the fact of going, well, what's the point? If Sony or Microsoft goes under, what are they then going to do? Just become a large scale publisher like Ubisoft or EA that
Yeah,
takes
and it's
under
like
miniatures?
they all do they not all have other things that they do? Like Sony
Yeah,
has a shitload of technology, TVs, audio devices, any stuff like that. Microsoft is just there's so much stuff with Microsoft
yeah.
that's got Microsoft name on it.
Nintendo is probably the only one that doesn't.
Yeah, but
But
Nintendo kind of has its own category of stuff and does kind of make its own style of games.
yeah, but the big thing about it is if those people who think that way and go, well, what are they going to do? Just become large scale publishers, as they're currently trying to do, and just let gamers choose the platforms they want to play on. It's not a
Like
difficult thing.
from what I remember when I used to play on console, is there was always it always felt like fairly average now that half wanted Xbox and the other half wanted PlayStation. At
Yeah,
least it felt sort of close to that. I'd
it's
imagine that
probably
if they became available on everything, people would just choose their preference and that's it.
that's what I'd more prefer. Being able to choose any platform that you want to play on to play whatever game you wish. I'm happy with that. That is something I would be more than happy with. But obviously, these large scale companies are afraid of that because at that point, they lose a lot of their pull. I mean, at the moment, I'd say probably Sony's at like 2/3 ownership.
But Sony is the only one
Xbox is
that would
probably
like
about a
take a
third.
hit because
I'd
they're at the
say,
top.
I'd say possibly, yeah. Considering,
The others might take a slight hit, yeah, but
yeah,
it's not going to be much. But
no,
Sony, the only reason Sony wouldn't want this is because they would be the one that would take a pretty significant hit because they're at the
exactly,
top of the market. But if it was the other way around, they would be all for it.
exactly that. But yeah, this is why I think Helldivers is really like a large thing, though, even to game developers. As it says in the letter, the fact that they were literally just going for the fact that players in a game looking to just have fun. It was awe
Which
inspiring,
is what we're always
impressive.
doing, or at least most of us.
Yeah,
Is what we're always trying to do. Is just we're looking for a game that we can have some fun and have a laugh with our friends.
exactly that. And this note, I feel, if you just read the words carefully and basically pay attention to what they're trying to say, yeah, I'd say that is what they're going for. Everyone is impressed at how well this is done, but also what message it is spreading within the community. And it's the first time I've seen positivity like that in the gaming sphere for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a short one, but I wanted to add it in. It was just such a huge thing that I felt needed to be mentioned.
It definitely needs more awareness, something like that.
Yeah. So, Game Pass. There's a
What
reason I'm
the
opening the app.
how many more upgrades are Game Pass giving us today?
Diablo 4 is on Game Pass.
Not that it's all that great, but sure.
No, but the fact that now you don't have to pay this stupid entrance fee is
Yeah,
a definite
I
bonus.
am very surprised that it's still the price that it is.
I'm not too shocked. I'll be honest, I've not checked this in a bit. I think the last time I checked it, Persona 3 Reload had just been added, and Train Sim 4. So Resident Evil 3's on there, Plate Up, A Little Left, Tales Arise, Bluey the video game, Maneater's back, Space Engineers, Bolt Gun, Paw Patrol. It seems like they're also bringing out a lot more kiddie games to come with, which is it's always beneficial to hit more
I
people in the
mean,
market.
variety, yeah, variety is always a good thing.
Yeah. SpongeBob Rehydrated. I mean, the old SpongeBob games were amazing. Control, No More Heroes, Lightyear Frontier, Evil West, which I've been actually wanted to play for a bit, Terror Invicta, Hot Wheels 2, Open Roads, and I think finally Diablo 4. This, I believe, is the first Blizzard Entertainment game to come across to Game Pass. I could be wrong, but I believe it is. Which, if that's the case, they've kind of created a bit of a hit start by
Well,
pulling one of the newest
you've got to
releases.
remember that Microsoft do now own Blizzard,
Oh yeah, exactly. But
so I suppose it was sort of inevitable to happen that their games would start appearing on Game Pass.
it was inevitable, but no one knew just how long it would take. And the fact that they've thrown one of the newest games up as soon as they could, basically, it
Yeah.
still is a bit mad, I find.
In
But
fairness, it might be the right move for Diablo 4 to try and get more players, if you know what I mean.
oh, 100%. And a lot more people are going to pick it up to go, actually, seeing as it's on Game Pass, I'll pick it up, I'll play it. I'll play through the story. If I enjoy it, I might pick it up when it's on sale. I'm not going to buy it at full price because I think the price is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if they enjoy what they play, they might go and give that a shot.
I mean,
You
again,
never
as
know.
far as I remember, from in terms of the storyline of Diablo 4, apparently the storyline is really good. The issue
Yeah,
with it is there's like the replayability is non-existent, and
exactly.
I'm sure any Diablo fans that have played their previous games will fully agree that the whole point of Diablo is its replayability,
Yeah, no,
and the
exactly.
grinding is just fun and enjoyable, and you can just sit and chill while you just run around continuously murdering and slaughtering every known creature to man.
Exactly that. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. You can now play Diablo 4 and more soon. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, a CNET's Choice Award, offers hundreds of games. Everyone knows all this. Xbox recently added NBA 2K24 and MLB The Show 24 to the service, and you can expect the company to add these titles to the game service soon. Diablo 4 has been added to console and PC. The Quarry to cloud and console. Evil West, as you saw, that was on PC. Terra Invicta is also on PC. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged. Open Roads. Ark Survival Ascended is available tomorrow onwards, which is dangerous. F123 is on the cloud from April 2nd. Super Hot Mind Control Delete, April 2nd. And then there are titles leaving Game Pass, which is MLB The Show 23, Infinite Guitars, and Hot Wheels Unleashed. I just feel like the key points of that is pretty much what was necessary. I don't think there's a point in covering each little bit about what the game is. If you have an interest in those games, you'll pick them up. If you think they're intriguing to check out from the pictures, feel free to check them out. Even check out some trailers. It's always worth doing.
That's a convenient thing as well by having Game Pass, especially if you already have it. If there's a game that you saw that you're not too sure about if you wanted to actually buy it, is a pretty good chance that it's either at some point, currently is, or will be eventually available on Game Pass.
Yeah, I
which
mean,
means you'll have a chance to try. But it's essentially just a demo version is what you're getting, but you get access to the full game for X amount of time.
exactly. I mean, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I have an absolute love for the Psychonaut franchise.
Hmm.
Now, I played the first Psychonaut during COVID. I spent lockdown with my partner, and basically, I was on a laptop away from my gaming rig. So I remotely connected to my gaming rig and used Gamepass Cloud on my laptop at times to basically play games. And what I ended up doing was I found Psychonauts on the game cloud. And I just sat there and I played through the entire first game. Fell absolutely in love with it. To the point where all of a sudden the sequel released, but the same time period, and I loaded it up and got straight in. I fell in love with these games. I've only recently had the funds to buy them. Turns out, 2017, they released a VR game I never knew about, so I sat and played that the other night, and that was amazing. And it fits perfectly in between them. But
I'm gonna be honest real quick, right? I think we need to take a look at the older VR games and see what there is because from latest releases, we're not having a great time. Whereas Climby is a good load of years old, and we both had an absolute ball.
yeah,
So
I
I
do
think I
fully
think we
agree.
should take a rain check and have a good scroll down and see what there is available to us.
That sounds like a good idea. We'll go back to some older games. We can also do a Climby stream properly next time.
Yes, now that we've figured out
Streaming
our
issue.
issues.
But yeah, we'll take a look at all this and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, this is what I mean though about what you were just saying about Game Pass and trying a game before you buy it. I love these games so much that I went and bought them when I could
Yep.
because of what I played on Game Pass. It just hooked me so well, and I've not played games similar in a long time.
That's exactly what you want in a game. Like you literally could not ask for anything more other than it being so good that you just can't stop playing it. And
I
you just
fully agree.
every time you're not playing it, you just want to be able to go back and start playing it again.
Yeah, that was exactly how I felt when I was playing Psychonauts. I absolutely fell in love with it, and could not be any more impressed than I already am with it. So, gambling destroys happy homes.
Right.
Conversation needed over e-gaming campaigner says. Here we go. Well, let's see how this goes, shall we?
Well, it's got gambling involved and it never goes well. So
True. A group of protesters have held demonstrations in the centre of the Isle of Man's capital to highlight the issue of online gambling addiction. Organiser Phil Crane said the protest aimed to start a conversation as the group felt strongly about the harm done by the industry which had become a pillar of the Manx economy. It comes after the 2021 to 2022 National Income Report showed e-gaming contributed 15.7% to the economy. But executive direct
what?
what? 15.7% to the economy.
That is absurd, man.
That is a daft figure. Seriously daft figure. So let's see.
Oh my god.
I think I might be able to pull this up actually. Uh, what was it again? Yeah, economy. Let's see if we can take a look at the economy of the Isle of Man. 2022, wasn't it? Do they have like any actual figures here?
In fairness, when all the loot box phase was going on, the Call of Duty times and all that, I'm sure it probably was way higher than that.
Exactly. It doesn't look like I can get any exact figures, but I'll take a look at that in a bit more detail later If I can get any figures, I'll put them on screen. But 15.7% of an entire economy is absolutely daft. But
Yeah, it is a crazy number.
simultaneously, I do need to say, considering there are only 5,000 people who live on the Isle of Man from the seams of things, that won't be a very large economy, but it will still be a daft amount of money.
If you think though, if you have that kind of number for somewhere larger,
Oh, exactly. It's going to be a
it's
smaller percent, but it's going to be a larger figure of money.
much, much larger.
But Executive Director Selton Manx, Bill Mummery, what a bloody name, said the island's licensing framework was regarded as a global leader in the quality of regulation and protection. If the island withdrew from the sector, people would find themselves carrying out the same activity but under a regime or lack of a licensing regime in other parts of the world. That would leave them exposed to the harms rather than protected from them, he said. Now, I want to just cover something here because, as much as these guys are definitely talking about the actual gambling side, which is an element that definitely needs discussing, we personally are focused more on gaming. We're not going to go into gambling just in general, like this article's about. We're going to cover more the gaming side of it. So, just to divert this article away from just pure gambling, because that is kind of what it is from the seams of things. Yep.
I mean, no matter what, gambling's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
But the whole idea behind an article like this is going to be, we don't want it in our games. That's not what games are about. Games aren't meant to be about putting hundreds and in some people's cases thousands of dollars, pounds, euros, whatever, into buying these stupid little boxes that more often than not, and I really mean more often than not, you're just going to get practically nothing out of.
So, I just wanted to prove a point here. I've just typed in CSGO casino sites. I can pull two up straight away. I have no affiliation with either, nor am I going to tell you to use them because I think you should avoid them at all cost. Because this is gambling. Don't care what anyone's got to say, that is what it is. Each of these has a value. Anything you're rolling for has a value on here. Same with this and the others and anything else. Anyways, reason I've pulled it up, by the way, these aren't just CSGO, they're also in Rust and Dota 2 and more than that. Many out there. So, reason we're covering this. Oh, that's why it's beeping. That makes more sense. Quickly mute this site, I think. Oh, I can't. Fuck. What a load of bollocks. Can I just... No. Anyways. Oh, there it is. I'm a donut, Will. I'm a donut. Forgot to hit that button there. Anyways, reason we're covering the gaming side is because as much as people will look at the CSGO skins side of things, the typical loot box opening in TF2 or CSGO as gambling, that is one form. That is one form of gambling. That is managed by a actual storefront though, which is a bit more protected, but it also doesn't really give you the gambling protection.
But
Sites
there's
like
still
this,
a lot of third party access, especially if you go to the websites for it. You can put yourself in some real danger, worse than the ones in real life.
exactly. Sites like this are a lot more concerning because not just are you talking about opening cases and anything else, you can earn real money from this, as a lot of kids do. They get CSGO, they earn some cases, they open some cases or buy some skins, and then they upload them to the skin markets. And they try to basically
Earn a profit.
sell them or gamble for them or roulette or coin flip or case flip. They'll do betting, they'll do case battles, so on and so forth. And all of this has value. money can be made from it. And this is where danger truly comes in. Because, yes, loot boxes are bad and they do promote gambling, but not to the same degree in which third party websites are capitalizing on it. And it is absolute insanity of what can be done. Now, what I am going to do, because I disagree with this so vehemently, it's insane, I will be blurring out all this so no one can really tell what site we're on. I'd
Yeah.
prefer not to show it off. I just wanted to show that yes, there are multiple sites for it. There shouldn't be, but there is. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do about it. Just to keep it off of anyone who watches this video. I don't want them going to these sites. I don't want them using them. As much as it's your choice, and yes, you could find it if you search. But at that point, I've taken all precautions I can. And that's all I can say on that one.
See, what my issue with these sites more, like as if like all the threats of the gambling and the enticingness that it all has and how much it tries to keep you going when you even though you want to stop. For me, the worst part is having running the risk of your account being hacked. So even
Yeah.
if you keep your credit card safe, whatever kind of bank you're with, whatever kind of card you're using, you have cautions that you have that can stop unauthorized transactions going through. But not quite the same can be said when it comes to, say, your Steam account. And if you have a very high value account because you've been doing well in this industry, which is very unlikely to happen, to turn a profit is even more unlikely. But if you do have a lot in there, you could still be down in money, by the way, and still have like a lot of value to your account. And if you then use these sites and in the end result, somehow, someone, some way manages to hack into your account and you've lost everything. Not
No,
only do
exactly.
you lose those skins, but you lose any penny that you've put into your account because you will be locked out of that account because they will change everything and recovering an account is so difficult to do.
Take it from me, I've done it multiple times on my Blizzard account.
Oh, that was. Oof.
Yeah,
I,
that
I
took me a couple
remember
months.
just periodically getting a screenshot of you arguing with them.
Yeah, it's a lot of my time taken up arguing with AI and staff. But I thought I'd
Yeah.
just show this. This is SteamDB. Basically, you can check many things. We use it to check player count in games, things like that. You'll have seen us use it in prior episodes. In this
It
instance, I'm
is.
using it to
It's a good
check.
website.
It's amazing. But in this instance, I'm using it to check my account's valuation and also what basically I've done on my account. You can see all this information ahead. I don't hide my account name. Everyone knows I go by the same name on pretty much everything. So just ahead here, you can see very far how long I've been on the account, what my level is, how long I've had the account, sorry, what my account value is at the lowest prices, which is £3,286. And today's prices, if I was to sell my account, which is against Steam TOS, would be £10,173. Would I sell my account? Not a fucking chance.
No, never.
This account has a lot of meaning to me. You
It's
can
it's
also
it's our lives, man. You know.
exactly like you can see in hours paid games 8,273.6 hours, in free games 2,034.1 hours, and in total in other products 106.2 hours, 10,413.8 hours in total of my life has been put onto my Steam account. You can see basically all the sets of information about my account, all that sort of stuff. But I find this interesting because this is all that you would lose if you were to lose your Steam account. I don't mind opening this up because the chance that someone gets into my Steam account is slim to none because
Yeah, no, it's
of
a
all the
lot more than
security.
just seeing things.
Exactly. I have a lot of security on my account, so like the fuck am I gonna let that thing go without a fight? But
Absolutely, and with what it is too, you're not gonna leave something like this just sitting there unprotected.
of
It's like
course
it's
not.
like leaving it's like leaving your Ferrari in the garage with the keys in the engine and just going to bed with and calling it a night.
Exactly. It'd be a dumb idea overall. But the reason I brought that up is because, as Will said, these sites aren't as protected. On top of that, what I massively disagreed with, but this is something that isn't really in our repertoire to speak about, but I just want to quickly mention it. The amount of bigger YouTubers and Twitch streamers and all that that actually promote these websites that jumped from promoting gambling sites to their underage fans, which I must say is absolutely a dreadful idea. Don't do it. But then from there, have now gone on to things like crypto and started doing the exact same shit with more easily manipulated people. And it's sad to see, it really is. But this is kind of how the rabbit hole begins to where it goes. And it will just get worse. So we do have to try and nip it in the bud early as a community. And yeah, some bits may be worse than others, but gambling as a whole, keep to the 18 plus market. Kids can get around it if they want to, but at that point, I have to question how have they got around it without their parents intervening. Once again, we do lead back to the point of if a game is too bad for your kid, make sure you're watching what your kid's doing. We said
Yeah.
that in one of the earliest episodes we did.
At the end of the day, though, like it just loops back around to gambling actually being a part of gaming now.
Yeah,
I mean, it has been for a very long time, especially in terms of CS:GO
100%.
or just Counter Strike in general, rather than
Pretty
CS:GO.
much.
CS:GO is sort of its name now. No one calls it just Counter Strike now.
No, it's
If you
called
think
Counter
about it.
Strike 2 now.
Up to
CSGO no longer exists.
Shut up. But it has been a thing for a very long time, and it was only really known well anyway to those who were actively involved in it and did things with it.
Exactly.
But now, with especially with the whole few years period where constantly open loot cases was a thing in gaming, and people were always doing it and always going crazy about it, so on and so forth.
I mean,
It now became so much more prevalent than what it was before
yeah.
that
I mean,
it's too easy now to see it, get sucked into it, be involved in it, and it is really a massive rabbit hole that you don't want to ever go down.
to be honest, mate, the earliest one I remember hearing about from my peers back in school was FIFA packs. You know, the card
Oh, you're on
packs that
about
you could
match
get.
attacks.
No, no. The in FIFA, they basically have like card unlocks to unlock new players, and you don't buy packs or get them from completing matches. And if they buy these packs, which a lot of people did, they have a chance of getting so and so player. And a lot of people want a certain player, so
Yeah,
they bought loads. I had
yeah,
a I had someone who I went to school with who I think spent in the approximity of about £150, and this was about 10 years ago now, which makes you just sit there and scratch your head a bit, going, "What the hell?"
yeah. And
That
that's the
that's
issue. It has just over time, it's slowly gotten worse. At one point, it got really bad to the point where literal countries, some did follow through with this, but and a lot of them were fully prepared to ban certain games. And
yeah,
as I said, some did ban certain games from their country because the loot cases in the games were considered just straight up gambling. There was no way around it. It was. And it
yeah,
was because you would buy this loot case and you would have like let's say 0.01% chance of getting something that's actually like say a weapon, and this weapon would give you a slight advantage because it has more damage than all the other weapons or less
yeah.
recoil, something stupid like that. and that would then give you an in-game advantage. So it was more incentive then to buy and roll these loot cases.
No, exactly. I fully agree with you. What I would like to see gaming studios and companies do, honestly, stick in some sort of warnings, some possible options to get help if people need it. Put on some limitations. I mean, bloody hell! If I go to put the lottery on the National Lottery app in the UK, it will put a certain limit on how much money I can spend that week. I only know this because if I put like let's say £10 onto the app, which will last me like a week or two, that will then turn around and say to me, "You have so much over your of your like weekly or monthly limit left." It's like, okay, so if the lottery can put a limit on how much I can spend on these sort of gambling options, why can't games?
They didn't necessarily have limits, but I'm pretty sure some of them would have put on like warnings. Now, very small, sort of not very direct warnings, so as to not deter you, essentially. But there were some that would have just a warning, and because it's not quite looked in the eyes of the law as gambling, especially now that there has been quite a lot of changes made. So most of the time, it is just cosmetics. Now the whole CS market it's a story of its own, but with most games, opening stuff like that, majority of the time is cosmetics, or at least you hope it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
So
100%.
because of that, there's not really been any law involvement to stop to put on limitations to force industries and developers and so on to have to put on limitations, put on certain warnings. They just have to do the bare minimum,
Yeah.
and everyone turns a blind eye.
The last thing I'd like to mention regarding this as well. Do you remember when V-Bucks were a massive thing?
They still kind of are. I still
Yeah.
hear stories of people having hundreds missing because they were stupid enough to give their child the PIN to their credit card.
Well, this is something I was thinking about. Within video games as well, I think if you're making a payment that's within the hundreds range, you should have to go onto your phone and activate the authentication to authorize such payment. If it's larger than like 100, I see that as a reasonable idea.
I mean, there's already options for that. I literally have my phone. I have to authorize any transaction for my
See,
card.
I have some, but you hear so many Americans, especially, or even some in the UK that I've heard recently over the last couple of years, where their kid has spent like a couple £1,000 on V-Bucks.
See, if
There
you're if
was
you're gonna
no
let your kid do
authorization.
stuff like that, there's already options for like giving your kid a card
Yeah,
because it's everything is going digital, and knowing how to use your card and how to be safe using your card, so on and so forth, is like a really important thing to have a kid learn early, so that nothing like this can happen in the future or worse. So literally, there are options now. You can get them their own card and use that as the equivalent of pocket money that you
yeah.
would like us older ones would have got when we were younger.
Oh, yeah,
That some might not get. It's more just there's money on the card, go nuts. Is what it
exactly.
seems to be nowadays.
I mean,
But it could be used in that way. So
the
it's their
reason,
pocket money and they can spend on whatever they want, but once it's gone, it's gone. They don't
yeah,
get any more.
the reason I more brought that up is because there were a few instances of it popping up where they were saying things like, we completely forgot that a card was linked to the account. Because the card doesn't have to be linked to the game, it just has to be linked to the service. So, for example, with most of them, it was linked to the Xbox or the PlayStation. And as in one guy in the UK had as an issue, his nephew came round, logged into his Fortnite account while the parents were in the other room. He ended up buying some V-Bucks. The guy had his bank account connected to his PlayStation or his Xbox or whichever it were. and his nephew was able to purchase thousands in V-Bucks. He basically just cleared out a credit card. And it was
Honestly.
like, what the hell?
See,
But
at some point though, with some of these stories you hear, you've got to wonder like how little have these people cared about these family members coming over or what they have access to if they're relatives that you live with still. Like,
oh, I completely agree.
do you just have no precautions set out? Do you have no awareness, no pins blocking certain actions, stuff like that? Because those options are literally everywhere.
Oh yeah. See, you and me and probably quite a lot of others, yeah, we get that. The ideas and the safety measures you can put in place, they're all logical. It's these people that don't seem to know this stuff. Or, for example, when Fortnite first blew up, it got so big that it even progressed past typical gaming boundaries. A bit like how Helldivers and that are now.
Yeah.
It's kind of bypassing typical gaming boundaries, and more people are coming into the industry again. With that happening, they don't know as much. I just
But
like
at the end of the day, like the world we live in, it revolves around money. And if you don't have measures taken to just know what is happening with your money and
you're
make
doing
sure you have
something
to
wrong.
authorize things, yeah, you're really not caring about what's going on. You're just a carefree person that doesn't seem to care until suddenly this nephew has managed to spend thousands, and all of a suddenly you can't pay your rent, your car insurance, the loan that you took out for your new gaming PC. You all of a sudden can't pay these off because you were carefree,
Yeah,
didn't pay any attention, didn't put up any countermeasures to stop this happening, and there's nothing that can be done about it because, well, it's completely and entirely on you.
yeah, that's the thing. It's one of those situations, especially where on one side you want there to be like more to help, but at the same time, there's already so much out there. How much more can be done without it starting to intrusively impact everyone's day to day life? So it's a messy situation, but the gambling side, 100%, something needs to be done.
Again, I stand by any purchasables or something of the sorts in gaming should always be cosmetics.
I fully agree. And any of
And it
these
shouldn't
third
be
party
gambling if it's a
webs,
rotating shop or something like that. Sure.
yeah, there should be no third party websites either. They need to be
No,
taken off.
absolutely. The fact that they're actually like allowed and the see that's the thing. The likes of the developers of the games, they're not gonna care. People are constantly coming back, especially CS:GO. They're constantly coming back, buying more packs and more cases, and constantly spinning them, trying to get profit. They
Exactly.
all make it. Valve as well, running Steam. They are just as much to blame because people go on the Steam marketplace and put their cases up for others to buy because they don't care about it. They know they're
Exactly.
going to make a couple pound off of each case that they get,
I mean,
and then because Valve get a percentage, the price goes up even more. So if something's up for £3, say
yeah,
that you're going to get charged, we'll say 3.30, because Valve have to basically earn money for the service, which fully makes sense. But the intent behind it is just it shouldn't be there.
yeah. I mean, I think I told you the other month how I ended up making like £80 on all through the Steam community market and was able to buy myself like 4 games out of it. And
Yes, yes, I remember. Yeah,
it was literally because the old cases I think had stopped being as valuable, and some of my skins had become more valuable, and some of my skins had done the same. I ended up basically being able to, what was it, something along the lines of sell stupid amounts for, and it worked out at like £80 in total.
like, I fully understand. Like, if people really want this cosmetic skin, and I seriously mean cosmetic, Like, you should be able to put it on the marketplace because you don't really care about it, or maybe you got a duplicate. It's like a 3 rare drop, and you were lucky to get it.
These
But
were the cases.
yeah,
£5.32 starting at.
yeah.
£2.36,
And
so on
if
and
you
so
think
forth.
about the charges, like if you click on one of those, Rory, the one of the £5 ones, and see what Steam charges you.
Oh no, I'll get it for exactly the amount.
Well, you know what I mean though. Like the
£5.32.
person's put it up for what, probably around 480 or something,
Yeah.
and then
Steam
once
take, I think, about
on,
10-15%.
yeah, they add that on top of it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's mental how things
I
work.
do fully understand it, and I am fully behind it. With they should get a percentage because at the end of the day, it's their service.
Yeah.
You know,
You know
without
what?
them, that wouldn't exist. You wouldn't be able to do that.
342 sold in the last 24 hours. No items currently available. Let's see if this is right. If there is currently none available, typically bots attempt to buy them. So I'm just going to throw that up for sale, just for fun. We'll see how that goes. I'll let you know next episode if that went on sale or succeeded or anything. So, shall we move on to the next episode?
The next episode?
Sorry, not next episode. The next topic.
Absolutely. This has been
Yeah,
a bit of a rough one.
yeah. Fuck it. Let's go on to episode 62, shall we? Straight away. No more topics. No new topics. Sorry.
This
Right.
is the new topic.
Yeah. Huge new £220 million gaming island where you parachute in to check in to open in up and coming holiday destination, plus 2 gaming attractions to visit in the UK. A rising holiday destination is set to open a huge new gaming island where visitors will be parachuted into the check-in area. With new British Airways flights set to operate from Heathrow Airport to Abu Dhabi is gaining recognition as an up-and-coming holiday destination. Abu Dhabi could become home to the world's first esports island. And the capital of the United Arab Emirates could become even more attractive to visitors if funding is acquired for the world's first esports island. Plans for the new $280 million or £220 million attraction have been unveiled by True Gamers, an international network of esports clubs. According to the Athletithad News Center, I don't like that word at all. Funding discussions are already underway. If funding is acquired, it is hoped that the new esports attraction will be built on a private island and include exclusive adventures. The attraction.
No, he's not. No, he is not.
The attraction already promises to provide a unique experience for gaming fans by including an array of features that will no doubt excite gamers. One exciting prospect could see guests arriving by parachute into the check-in area in homage to popular games like Fortnite. I'd say popular battle royale games, but sure.
Yeah.
Other experiences are set to include gaming boot camps for aspiring gamers, a training center for professional teams, a venue for major gaming events, as well as a dedicated spaces for influencers and developers. Visitors may also have access to a luxury hotel that plans to offer more immersive experiences. May I just add, this is starting to sound less and less like a holiday destination and more like, oh, right, yeah, you're not a gamer unless you actually do esports. You don't really enjoy games. It's like, fuck off. Leave us alone. An esports camp for children could also be opened on the island. Please don't do that. We have enough squeakers.
Yeah, don't we just? Fuck me. Who's coming up with these ideas, man?
Don't know. We need to put them down quickly. New concept art shows what the potential visitors can expect from the private island, including 2 large towers, a boot camp area, and a gaming area. Other details, including potential opening dates and ticket prices, have yet to be revealed. There are plenty of gaming attractions in the UK too. Here we go. Microsoft's Experience. The Microsoft Experience Center's Xbox Lounge offers people the chance to play on Xboxes free of charge. The free-to-play gaming zone opened in
But
spring last year in
wait,
Regent
where is
Street.
this the same place or is this something else? My
Different
mind just
place.
blanked. My mind just blanked.
Different place entirely.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
It opened. It's okay. It's a free-to-play gaming zone opened in spring last year in Regent Street, London, and has 3 dedicated gaming areas with 21 gaming screens for people to enjoy. Those 3 zones include the Cloud Gaming Zone with a 55-inch near QLED smart TVs for game streaming via Samsung Gaming Hub, an online gaming service with no download, storage limits, or console required. There's also the Living Room Zone with 98-inch Neo QLED 4K HDR smart TVs,
Jesus Christ.
and the Tournament Zone containing 12 24-inch Odyssey G3 gaming monitors for people to engage in some friendly competitions. That sounds immense.
Since when did things have to become so complicated, though, man?
I know, right? But how is that a title for a TV? Try saying that 5 times fast while drunk.
That's like a whole paragraph, though, just for a name.
I know, right? And then there's the Science Museum. The Power Up exhibition at the Science Museum in London has more than 160 different games consoles for people to try out. The interactive experience allows guests to get their hands-on with a multitude of gaming video games from the previous 50 years. Visitors of all ages and skill levels can enjoy a journey through gaming history from the Atari 2600 all the way up to the PS5, with almost every console in between. Classics like Mario Kart Racers, Pong, and Pac-Man can be played alongside newer hits like Fortnite, Super Smash Bros, and FIFA. Meanwhile, this largest gaming arcade in Europe is in the UK, and this attraction is a real-life video game. Shall we quickly take a look at these?
Go for it.
May as well. Largest gaming arcade in Europe is in the UK with more than 1,000 machines that are free to play.
Surely there's like an entrance fee, right?
Manchester Arcade Club has a whopping 4 floors of consoles, machines, and gaming rigs.
You mean I missed out on this last year?
I know, right? Arcade Club in Bury has more than 1,000 game machines to choose from, with 400 types of games from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The arcade venture started by Andy Palmer, who had a collection of 30 arcade machines. He then opened his first arcade club in a huge warehouse in Haslingden with 100 machines. This then moved to the Arcade Club in Bury 2015, followed by Floor 2 in 2017, now the biggest in Europe. The website states 4 floors of arcade machines, pinball games, consoles, and other exciting gaming attractions. More than 400 classic and modern games with something for everyone. This includes modern arcade games and PC rigs, as well as older retro options across platforms such as N64s, PlayStations, Segas, and Xbox. Dance mats include Dancing Stage Euromix and Dance Dance Revolution, as well as retro games like Pac-Man and Pinball. That sounds mental. Okay.
Place, I am absolutely not going to be playing a modern console or PC.
Let's just quickly see this second. Classic games such as Donkey Kong, Mario Kart can also be found, such as fighting games as well, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken. Interactive games include Skeetball, pool tables, air hockey, as well as VR machines, and at the lower floor even has a DJ set. There are even popular imported games from places like Japan. And you don't even have to pay to use the machines. Simply pay your entry fee and play. If you fancy staying all day, you don't have to leave when you get hungry. Stalls on site serve snacks, including pizzas, burgers, hot dogs, and nachos. Mate, we are sorted. There are also soft drinks as well as booze, including beer, cider, wine, spirits with Budweiser and Corona, just costing $2.95. That's quite expensive. With it being so big, you don't even have to book in advance, although they suggest it if you don't want to risk missing out on the weekend. Tickets cost £9 for kids and £17 for adults, although these are for the entire day in case you decide to leave and come back. The arcade is open Thursday to Sunday with 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. adult only sessions on Fridays.
Be the day to go.
You are, sorry?
Friday would be the day to go. Get there for the full 6-hour grind.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, you'd pull up in Manchester like 3 o'clock, go get some food, have a wee down there around, make sure you're nice and warmed up, stretched out, ready to go, and then just get in there for the full 6 hours and not have to stop.
That is just insanity. It sounds so good, though.
It does.
So, that's one of the two. Next, we'll go on to this one. On track, brand new UK attraction opening this week that is like a video game in real life. It looks like a
really
go-kart
shitty
track.
looking course. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Not even a loop-de-loop for me to do, man.
Chaos Cars. Okay. I'm a tad disappointed, I must admit. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Jumping off that. Going back. I feel like we've covered everything quite well overall.
It's not been a half bad day.
No, definitely not.
I will say though, I'm a tad bit disappointed about the gaming island. Once we got into that more, it upset me a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some. The Manchester thing's definitely a lift up to improve things, but the bit about the gambling and everything is a massive letdown and upset.
There definitely needs a hell of a lot more awareness. There's some serious issues. In fairness, since when it all was really bad, there have been a lot of improvements. Quite a few games have tried to stick to cosmetic only. Now, there might be some advantages to certain skins, but all in all, it's not game breaking or game changing.
Yeah,
Well, it's not ideal to be up or really fun sometimes to be up against. For the most part, it doesn't change a whole lot. But it's good to see that there have been games that have stuck to cosmetic only.
100%. But unless there's anything you'd like to add, I think we're done.
Just about the game that I was meant to play.
Oh yeah, would you like to jump onto that quickly?
It's only a quick, really more of an announcement rather than anything else. It did release a few days ago. I've purchased it. It is in my library. However, I'm going to hold off from playing it because the reviews for it currently are mixed. Ideally, I would like to play it co-op because everything's better with friends. But the co-op especially seems quite broken. Only the host seems to get rewards, and there's a few other things that definitely need some updates on. But apparently the devs are really, really listening and are pushing daily updates. So there are high hopes. So I'm gonna give it maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. Keep an eye on the reviews, the latest reviews especially, and see how people are feeling. And at some point, I will definitely hop on it.
Sounds like a damn good plan.
But that's one thing that you can't not love to see is when the devs listen to the feedback. It is
100%.
one of the most important things. Once you release a game, you are not done. Because it is impossible to release a game in perfect state. So you you need to listen to your community. You need to fix the things that are quite obviously things people are not happy with.
You've reminded me of something kind of important to mention. So I'm going to just share my screen one last time. No Man's Sky. I think someone needs to tell the developers we forgive them. Because not only have they added almost everything that was ever promised about the game, they've gone and added tons of features more than what was just there that they promised. They have done so much at this point, it is two completely different games from launch to current.
Similar
And
sort of situation to Cyberpunk.
exactly. That is what everyone was hoping when Cyberpunk came out how it did. They wanted a No Man's Sky redemption arc. But since then, No Man's Sky has released yet more updates. Since Cyberpunk's release, I think they've uploaded 2, maybe 3, possibly more. Okay, we're talking about 4? Maybe 5? Maybe 6? I couldn't tell you. There's just a lot.
What you want to see?
They're still at it. So, someone tell them we forgive them already, please. We're sorry. We understand. You made a mistake. You fixed the problem. You've done amazing since. We forgive you. We hope your next game turns out phenomenal. Honestly, I do. Because with all the work they put in, they so bloody deserve it.
This is what I see these developers. Instead of them seeing that loads and loads of people have bought this game and they're getting absolutely destroyed in reviews and people are just all over social media bad mouthing it. Instead, just saying, "Oh well, we made money off it. Let's go on to the next one." They've stuck with it and they've fixed it.
Exactly.
And this is now more developers doing this as well with games that could have been beloved, kind of were, but there were just too many issues and people would have stopped or would have just gave up with it and moved on to other things, which makes them lose out on their fan base, on people that might buy their future games. Instead, they're sticking by, they're fixing it and showing we can eventually have a good outcome. And sometimes it happens, sometimes a game gets overhyped, ends up being, not so hype,
Mediocre.
and at best. So it's good
Yeah.
to see that they're actually they're sticking with it, and they're
100%.
still making it something good.
I fully agree. But with that, we have hit the end of another episode. So I would just like to take a quick moment to thank everyone for watching. We hope you have all enjoyed. If you have, please feel free to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want, please feel free to join the Discord in the description, where we record all our episodes, post any updates we have for the channel, and pretty much occasionally, if anyone ever will pop up in this chat, we will end up popping in and just seeing how people are and having discussions.
Absolutely.
We think it'd be an interesting thing to move forward to. But with all that said and done, thank you all for watching yet again, and we will see you all next time. Bye for now,
Absolutely.
guys.
And a special thanks to our community manager for giving us a chance to punish Rory.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one, guys. See you again.
Bye, guys.